pertinent for me in our given position at the United Nations to pay this call on you and to discuss with you some of the issues that we have been supporting the country with at the level of the United Nations. It has been a very tough time over the last year with COVID and with many socioeconomic impacts that have come with it. And the government of Nigeria has certainly stood tall and has been able to address many of these challenges, and we continue to offer our support in that vein. Having said that, I think it would be remiss of me if I didn't congratulate the government of Nigeria on the recent appointments that have come to us as the DG of the WTO, the World Trade Organization, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, and also, of course, the Commissioner for the AU Peace and Security, Ambassador Bankole. These are renowned professionals who have over time proven their worth, and now the international community has the benefit of their leadership, and we will continue to work to support that benefits Nigeria, the continent, and the world. There are, of course, many challenges that a country faces. The leadership of Nigeria in the sub-region and within the African continent is well known and recognized, and you have, of course, been asked many a time to take leadership in different fora. The role today that we see of institutions in helping us to manage the recovery from COVID is never been more important. And I think a visit to your office is really to reinforce how important that is, that when government is trying to deliver on its services, or the rights of the people, the social contract, the institutions are really the bedrock on which this will exist. And for many years across the continent, across many of our developing countries, institutions have been weakened. We have not had the investments that we ought to, and so therefore we've not been able to deliver at the scale and with the urgency. But of recent, we're seeing a resurgence where it says, you know, there is a division of labor in the three arms of government, whether it is the executive, the parliamentary, or the judiciary. Everyone is bringing their energies and their efficiencies and their professionalism together. And what I would like to say in this courtesy call is that the SDGs have 10 years to go. And fundamental to the SDGs being delivered is Goal 16. It is about justice, but it is also about strong institutions. And I believe that your office really does have the oversight and the leadership to really pull government institutions together. In the case of Nigeria, not just at the federal level, but at the states, and much more importantly, the local governments, which really form the foundation of the growth of any nation. We avail ourselves. Here, our country team is large and has been helping on the health front, but in so many other areas, whether it is stabilization in Lake Chad, or it is looking to see how we support the police reform. All of these are in support of the vision for development in the country. So count on the United Nations, and it's a pleasure for me to be here with you.
Thank you so much. Amina Mohammed, Permanent Secretaries, distinguished senior government colleagues, gentlemen of the press. Your Excellency, let me take this opportunity to truly welcome you to the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, and to thank you that in spite of your very odious commitments in country, you've taken out time to visit us this morning, and to formally commend you and congratulate you for the great job that you're doing at the United Nations. There are 5 Nigerians today occupying strategic positions in different levels at the international level. But I think the peak of it, for me, was the day Mr. President addressed the United Nations, and on that platform, out of 4 persons sitting down, 3 were Nigerians. That was a climax for me. You sitting as the Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations, Professor Tijani Bade, sitting as the President of the General Assembly, and President Muhammad Buhari had the singular privilege and honor to address the world. So except for the Secretary General of the United Nations, every other person on that platform that day was a Nigerian. And I think that was the brightest moment for our nation. Tying that to what is happening even globally now, Your Excellency, is the fact that Nigeria has never had it this good. And I must commend you because we have appropriated and leveraged on your international connections to push our agenda as a nation, and even securing positions for other Nigerians to occupy critical offices on different platforms. And I want to thank you for availing yourself. You've come home since your appointment as the Deputy Secretary General several times. And every time you come, it's an engaging moment. It's no quiet moment for you. I see you on the television engaging with different levels of our communities, aiding them and assisting them and encouraging them to build institutions that would be sustainable and that would endure the test of time. I would want to leave you with a pledge that the Office of the Secretary to the Government would be readily available at any time to support whatever exercises that will come through your office and through your efforts to enhance a sustainable development in this country. In our private discussions, we've spoken about several areas that you have advised we look at, and I want to assure you that I'm going to do exactly that, and we'll continue with an interface with your office so that everything that we need to do to get our country on the path of sustainable growth should be at the heartbeat of government policies and programs and projects. And I want to thank you too for commending Nigeria exiting recession in a very surprising manner. The truth about it, when I had a private conversation with Mr. President, I told him that last year was a very tough year globally. But because of the sense of responsibility he has as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and we thank God that we have him at this moment, that he initiated two things that have aided Nigeria to exit the recession within such a very short time. The first thing was that on the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, he constituted the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19. When most countries were still in total confusion as to how to approach the pandemic. By the 17th of March, after the first index case on the 27th of February, by the 17th of March, the committee which I have the privilege of chairing was already formed. And barely a month or two thereafter, I remember he directed that I request the Vice President to constitute the Economic Sustainability Committee, which came up with an economic sustainability plan, 12-month economic sustainability plan, and which facilitated our arresting the 2020 budget and revising it to fit into this plan. And it is the combined effect of the robust national response of the COVID-19 Presidential Task Force and the economic sustainability plan that has helped Nigeria and aided Nigeria to exit recession within such a very short time after having recorded negative growth in 2 quarters. And I know the efforts of the United Nations basket in assisting us in our national response for COVID-19. At the time, we began to receive supplies from the United Nations basket. We didn't even know where to go and get the materials from because it was a scarce commodity. The entire world was chasing the same commodity. So I know it's as a result of your tremendous influence and by virtue of your office that this facilitation came about. We cannot thank you enough. Several lives have been saved. We are on the path of recovery in our economy, but I believe strongly, even now that we are expecting vaccines through the covered facility, it's as a result of your efforts that we are getting a proportionally high quantity that we might receive anytime from now. About 4 million doses that we might receive of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccines. And I believe that a combination of the vaccines and our robust national response would tremendously help on the part of our returning to normal. We might not get to that quite easily. And this is an appeal now going out to Nigerians that we have a responsibility in ensuring that we return to normal by observing the non-pharmaceutical interventions plus the vaccines that will come. And my appeal to Nigerians, using the benefit of your visit, is to tell them to ignore all the misinformation out there, the conspiracy theories about vaccines. Vaccines are safe, vaccines are efficacious, and vaccines and the non-pharmaceutical interventions, a combination of the two, will bring us back to our normal lives. And I believe that if we get back to that, Nigeria's future is bright because the trajectory is clearly indicative of the fact that if we can get our acts together and deal with our security challenges and disruptive tendencies that are playing out amongst our people, born out of several agitations, I believe we will be able to put our country on the pedestal of sustainable future growth. So, Your Excellency, thank you for this privilege of receiving you, and we wish you the best as you go around to complete part of your visits, and as you return back to your base in the United States. We wish you journey masses, and we'll continue to pray for you. We'll continue to lift you up. We'll continue to ensure that you succeed, because your success is Nigeria's success. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Secretary of Government, especially for those kind words.
The country.
And
We decided to go Nigerian, so this is a token of our souvenirs.
You know I'm an independence baby.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you,
very
ma'am.
much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We will now step to the corridor for food reception.